Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the World Football Summit podcast. I'm your host, Jaime, CMO at World Football Summit. Have you ever wondered what it's like to help football clubs implement technology-related projects that have potential to take revenues to another level? If so, you're in for a real treat in today's conversation. Today, we continue our series on female leaders in football, but this time we look at it from the brand side. Patricia Peiró Hergueta, Chief Strategy Officer at Telecoming, is our wonderful guest today. Telecoming helps sports businesses monetize audiences through mobile technology, and Patricia, or Pati, is the person in charge of leading their strategy. I think you will get a ton of value from this conversation in which we talk about the number of opportunities for fan engagement and creating new sources of revenue that mobile technology enables for football clubs, how to approach and the questions you need to ask yourself before attempting any innovation-based project, frameworks and mindsets football industry leaders need based on the projects that Telecoming has carried out. But we also get to know Patricia as a leader and the characteristics that she believes leaders need. I hope you're ready for an amazing conversation full of lessons and insightful quotes. And remember, World Football Summit Europe will travel back to Sevilla on September 20th and 21st. Will you? We have launched a special ticket for female leaders in sports, which grants you access to exclusive workshops with other industry leaders, unique discounts, and much more. If you're looking to take the next step in your sports industry career, this is your chance. Head over to www.worldfootballsummit.com. Again, that's www.worldfootballsummit.com and submit your request. And with that, enjoy this Sports Business Masterclass with Patricia Peiró Hergueta from Telecoming. Well, Patricia, thank you so much for joining us for the World Football Summit podcast. It is a pleasure to have you, and I'm really looking forward to this conversation because I think you are going to share tremendous knowledge that the entire industry can learn from. Welcome.
Thank you, Jaime, for inviting me today. I will do my best trying to give something interesting for the audience.
I'm sure you will. Before we go into all the topics that I want to cover with you today, I don't know if you can briefly introduce yourself and I guess share a bit about your background, but perhaps I'm curious to know why is it that you do what you do?
So, I am a journalist, but I've never worked as a journalist, only as a corporate journalist. I've always developed my professional career in the communication field, which is quite exciting. Honestly, I have been working in different industries, and now I am really focused on the digital and the technology and the sport tech side. And I am since the end of last year, I am working as Chief Strategy Officer at Telecoming. And I was thinking, preparing this interview about this, and I was thinking, how did I finish here? And it's because I think the main skill you need to work in the study side is to make yourself the right questions. And this is something that we learn in the career, in the journalist career, and you develop in the comms side. I wake up every morning reading the press, reading the trends, and analyzing different things, and then thinking, is this an opportunity for me, for us, for the company? Is it a threat maybe? Is it something that I can apply? Is it something that's going to have an impact in society? Should we take part of this conversation? Many, many questions, always asking me for different things. And this is so amazing for me. I am really, really grateful to be here, honestly.
Well, if you were worried about adding value throughout the conversation, you just did. So from now, it's just all the way downhill, because I think curiosity is a fantastic lesson to start this conversation about, no? And I think it's something that is really key to grow, no? And in case somebody out there doesn't know about Telecoming, can you describe what it is and its role in the football industry?
So Telecoming comes from is a sport tech company. We work in the fan engagement segment, and we develop and distribute amazing mobile experience for fans through mobile operators. So that's what we do. But to understand where we come from, this is very interesting as well. We were born in 2008, and we were working in the digital payments side for a while. And then, 2008 was a big crisis with Lehman Brothers. And in that moment, some great entrepreneurs decided to create a company and to start developing technology for payments. So it was an amazing moment. And then once our office is placed very close to the Bernabeu.
Okay.
And then my boss said, "Hey guys, this is the Real Madrid over here, and really need to do something with them. They have content, they have the audience, so we can create something special for them." And that's when we became in 2018 the digital partner of Real Madrid. And then something has started here, and it's still in the movement, right? And it's when our sport tech idea was born. And then today we are like an amazing company operating in 27 countries. We are 110 talents from 19 nationalities working together for properties like Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid for sure, Benfica, and Anderlecht. We have ASEC Mimosa in Ivory Coast. One new property in North Africa that's not communicated yet. Other properties from the sports side, is EFC, for example. It's the biggest championship of fight in Africa. So, we start, it's not, now, it's we cannot stop. We cannot stop. So that's where we are. And what we do for properties is we create the complete mobile experience, and then we monetize it through telcos. We distribute it in a very specific model. It's a distribution platform that is very performant. That's the key. And it's because it's the perfect mix between these three parts: the part of a mobile experience that is full mobile, a payment that is really, really worked and really, really accurate, and an ad tech that is very, very performant.
That's, thank you for that. That's an amazing story on how you actually started in the football industry. You went for the biggest client, using your strengths. And you said, "Hey, we can help you here." And from then, everything just started rolling, no? And you talked about mobile technology. And while doing research, and this is where I want to start a conversation, I was thinking, well, the problem with the mobile technology and let's say adoption of new technologies, that sometimes there's a gap, no, between what, in this case, the fan adopts or their fan behavior, and what actually businesses and organizations are able to offer. So I was wondering, how big is that gap in the football industry?
Well, I think it's getting smaller, honestly, because properties, the clubs have realized that they have an opportunity in the mobile audience, and they really, really are interested in monetizing them. So this is one part that after the pandemic, the digital. They were looking to the digital like something that was complementary. Now it is a need. So the mindset of the clubs have changed. In that sense, they are looking to the mobile. I mean, at the beginning it was just home and TV and smart TV and stuff, and now they are looking to mobile because they know the audience is there. I was the other day preparing a keynote for the Mobile World Congress. I was talking about that, and then in my research, I learned that 50% of the population is under 25 years old. 40% of the population worldwide. So imagine they are going to become the main driver of growth for any industry, not only sports, but any other industry. And this group of users, they were born mobile. They are in the mobile. But I mean, it's not an alert message. I don't want to be anyone stressed about that. It's the biggest incomes from the clubs are still in the streaming, in the rights of streaming, and sponsorship. That's true, but in the mobile, there's an opportunity for them, and I think they have changed their mindset. So that is the first point and the first step to get this gap closer. The second is that technology has no limit today, And we are attending a movement that is amazing, where many startups are doing many amazing things, like it's super exciting developments in AR, VR, and in metaverse, artificial intelligence. All these big words that are in the conversation now.
Yeah.
And then the offer is getting more accessible for the clubs. So they need to understand. I mean, for me, the challenge is, how are you going to make all this profitable? And then that's why you need to really make accessible this innovation and make it profitable. They all need to be part of this, to take part of this. And this is it's a very difficult challenge. So that's why I'm very proud of what we are doing at Telecoming, because we are able to reach a very big audience, because we are working with telcos, with mobile operators. There are more mobile phones than bank accounts. There are more mobile phones than people, I think. It's super crazy, yeah. And then through this, we are able to create. We are creating products that are interesting for these users, because it's a mix of technology, but it's also a mix of content, but it's a mix of entertainment, but it's a mix also of information. We are able to create this mobile experience that I was telling you about: content, official content, and technology, and distributing in a model that is very, very accessible for everyone. So I think we really have the key of this challenge. I am very proud about that.
You mentioned several keywords: monetizing, being profitable. Those are key concepts that you really need to embrace if you want to grow. And also, you were mentioning before the fact that the younger consumer every day is more mobile. No, how do you see these younger consumers engaging with sports-related content? Because there was a study from La Liga saying that in today's world we see consumption of content being as high as ever. The problem is it's distributed across different platforms.
Well, I think that you are right. You are right. The audience is more distributed than ever. That's a fact. I think it's an opportunity instead of a threat. So for me, it's a good idea, because we have different ways to impact this audience and to bring them what they want to consume. The mobile consumption has something that is quite a little bit different from other devices. It's that the short format. This is very interesting model of consumption, because we need to really offer them small things that they can digest easy, because of the way they are consuming. But we need to take into consideration that sports fans, they have very similar characteristics. They have an emotional connection with the brand, and this is something that brands, they have understood, and they can still capitalize. So this is very important. They are emotional. They are used to this double consumption, this double screen or double consumption. I was telling in my keynote the other day also, you heard this story about my father just putting the TV on mute and the radio on, and I was like, this kind of cross-device experience he was having in that moment. I was very surprised about that. And when I tell this story, everybody recognized this fact. It's like, yes, my father, he does the same, or my son does the same, and so they are used to has this cross-device experience. So mobile is natural. They are also very creative because of this emotional connection. They are also very creative. The first viral videos and all the user-generated content at the beginning was about sports. They want to consume the content, and it's because around the sports, around the football, everything is interesting. I mean, the consumption goes beyond the 90 minutes of a match. So this is also interesting because you can create some opportunities to bring them more information and more entertainment around the football, and all these characteristics are shared even if they are young or not. But the young audience, you need to take all this and add the short format, the bytes, and the mobile consumption. And the mobile is very important because, in a 6 inches screen, the experience is much more different than in a 72:1,
Indeed, and that was a great description of today's fan, no? And I couldn't agree more with what you described, and I couldn't add anything else to what you've said, no? I was thinking about our first conversation, which we will link to in the show notes, the interview that we did last year, summer of last year. And we talked about the direct carrier billing service that you offer and how that was becoming more accepted by clubs. So can you help us understand more in detail what it is and how football clubs are using that?
Yes, for sure. I mean, direct carrier billing is a payment technology that allows to charge the user in the monthly bill, in the monthly mobile bill, issued by his telco operator. So in that sense, it's great because everybody has a phone and they need to pay the phone. So that's great. And in some territories, like for example in Africa, telcos have taken the role of many banks. The user already trusts his telco operator because he has already a commercial relationship with him. So he trusts him in that sense that he can accept the payments for this. And telcos have realized as well that they can offer, or they need to offer, the different services around just the connectivity. And we have been in the Mobile World Congress last week, and we have seen how they are entering in mobility, in entertainment, in metaverse for sure. They are even opening, or the Open Gateway that was presented by Telefonica, opening all the features of the net to the developers to increase, the revenue for each user, because they need to offer something different beyond the connectivity. So it's a very interesting moment for them. And the carrier billing, it's an opportunity. It's also an opportunity to integrate a lot of people in this digital economy. And I was thinking, okay, we really need to take care of these people, that there is a really gap in terms of digital and payments. And in that sense, I think that carrier billing is very useful, because they can pay many things in the digital without doing a really difficult setup of any wallet or whatever. So in that sense, direct carrier billing is getting very popular. And the brands, they have realized that it's a way to really bring the services to other countries. So in that sense, they are accepting pretty well.
For me, the key word there is convenience. Because effectively,
exactly. That's the word. That's the key word. I don't know if I can do this in this podcast, but I have this. When someone says something really interesting, so
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. No, but I was thinking.
So yes, convenience. And you know what? I'm going to put an example everybody's going to understand.
Please.
It's like transport. I mean, the transport itself is a commodity. You need to go from place A to place B, and in each occasion, the user will choose the best way of transport. The best way to go from this place to another. But he doesn't care. He just needs to have a choice in that sense. In payment technology is exactly the same. In every transaction in the digital, because all the payments technology are competing between themselves. I mean, the credit cards, with the wallet, with Amazon Pay, with direct carrier billing, with cash. Even if you go to the parking and you can pay, with many things. And in each transaction, in that moment where the user is going to say, okay, this is the moment of commitment with the brand. I say, I'm going to pay, accept the payment. Mm-hmm. He needs to choose, and he will choose always the more convenient in terms of the device, the price, the moment of the day, because maybe he's at home and it's okay. I have my card behind me or not. Many aspects will impact this transaction, and convenience as the key, the key word. He will choose because of the convenience of each payment technology. So direct carrier billing is very useful for some things, but it's not useful for other things.
And I'm curious because I personally see it as crystal clear, but I'm pretty sure that when you speak with clubs in the industry, you find a lot of barriers to implementing mobile-related technology. I don't know if you found patterns or common barriers across the conversations you've had with clubs.
Well, I think once you have Real Madrid on your portfolio, everything becomes easier.
I imagine.
So, I mean, it's my clubs, that's why I talk about them with a lot of enthusiasm. I really love them. But it's true. I mean, you go and you say, "Hey, guys, this is what I'm doing for the Real Madrid, and this is amazing." And I have analyzed your audience, and you have a lot of fans in that part of the world, and you are not able to monetize there because you are not arriving with the right product or with the right payment technology or with the right advertising. So let me work on your mobile experience, and I will do the complete. stuff. So that's, if you are able to demonstrate that you can make profitability, again, you can be profitable, then it's easier.
It's the classic FOMO effect. No, if Madrid is doing this, why are you not doing this? No, so that always helps, I guess.
Not everybody can do what Madrid does, honestly.
I imagine.
14 champions. Let it be.
But I did want to understand, because I'm pretty sure you guys, given the exceptional work you've done over the years and your evolution, you have surely frameworks or steps that clubs can follow.
Well, I think if a club, it depends on the strategy of every club. You can rely on a partner. That is the most convenient, again, thing in my opinion. You can stay out, you can stay away also, but you're gonna miss a super big opportunity. That is the mobile economy. You can go your own, and there are some clubs that are doing amazing things. I really think that clubs, they need to think about the strategy. They really need to make themselves the right question. Where do I want to go, right? Where is my audience? What I'm going to offer them? What do I have? Because, you need to produce a lot of stuff, a lot of content and other things. So what do I have? What can I do? Which kind of help do I need? Only maybe I need just an agency to make an advertisement. Okay, that's an option. Or I just need developers, and I will do all with Cosme because my brand is super big and it's amazing. I will go on their own. You need to think about what is your strategy, and once you decide, then you need to choose the right partner in that sense. Because the clubs they have understood that they really don't want to miss this opportunity. I think they are all in the same page in that sense.
And I was thinking what you were saying there. It made me think about a quote I heard from Elias Zamora from Sevilla FC, and he was saying that actually the quality of your data is actually determined by the quality of your questions, which is basically what you're saying. Absolutely. You need to have that very, very clear, no?
The more you ask for the user, the less you will get. That's for sure.
I'm going to grab that quote and I'm going to use it as a soundbite of this podcast because that's a great summary. And I want to move on to another section, which is basically, you have worked with, as you said, some of the biggest names in the industry. And I understand you might have NDAs, but I don't know if you can share a business case or an example of some work that you've done without naming names, just for people to really grasp the kind of solution that you bring to the table.
We are doing amazing developments with the AI. I am very happy about that. And again, we are making AI profitable. That's very important for me because it's not about, we are really innovative and doing all these developments and it's experimental pilots. No, we are doing things that work pretty well. Users can personalize their own experience for a club. But if I choose and then I go into my service and then what I see, and it's not about, we're content related or you may also, no, it's about we are doing this experience for you. Yeah, it is very interesting. I think I am very, very happy about that. This is one of business case. We also created another casual content for another brand, more related with AR filters, official assets, stickers, and all this. And you might think, but Pati, this is not really innovative, but I don't care because it's what users want. They really want to share this casual but official assets of the club. They like it. The fan of sport, he's willing to pay for everything that is official, that can demonstrate the passion they have for the club, that can make them feeling different, but with this sense of belonging to the club. So all these kind of casual technologies that are based with, it's not really casual technology, it's a casual product based on innovative technology because behind it's always AR and maybe blockchain, all this. This is transparent because the user doesn't care, honestly. He's enjoying something that is in the Web3 or not, he doesn't care. But if you are able to create this product that a user will enjoy and will share, and we are doing this, this is very interesting as well in a official app. It's very interesting. I am very happy about that as well, and we are seeing a nice data in terms of consumption.
If you think about it, there's opportunities to actually disrupt the traditional commercial model where in the past, basically the main way to identify with a club may be I buy the shirt or I buy the flag. Now I can have some digital, call it services, stickers, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And that's another option to monetize. And that's something that clubs need to really understand, no?
Sorry, no, go. I'm sorry.
No, please. You were going to say something?
No, I was saying that it's also important to remember the audience that the sport has been the first industry that has been able to make really much money with NFTs.
There you go.
That it's NBA. It's not our client. That's why I am talking openly about them. They have made a really incredible success with the Top Shots and all the NFTs. It's amazing. And Sorare is another case study that is also very successful. They are doing things amazing in the Web3 and with NFTs. And I think it's the sports, the industry that has lead this movement. And the rest will come behind, So we really need to, as an industry, we can be proud of this.
Definitely, because it goes back to what you were mentioning before, is that the sports fan is passionate. Thinking about the work that you've done with these top tier clubs, again, without naming any names, what lessons have you learned from working with them?
Well, I think in my personal experience and maybe it's because of my background in communication, is the power of the brand. No other industry has this respect for the brand. It is very, very important to always remain loyal to the brand identity, to the values, to all this. And this is something that is shared by all the clubs. And so if you want to work with clubs or with properties, you really need to understand the power of the brand. This is much higher than, and this is also another headline I'm giving to you. The Real Madrid brand is higher than the team itself.
There you go.
It's more important than the team.
Exactly.
It does being so. If you work for the brand, you really need to understand that you have on your hands you have something that's very, very important.
Yeah, something very powerful there and a big responsibility, I guess, no?
Yes.
And then I'm also curious, what advice would you have for football industry leaders who are looking to start or embrace mobile technology within their revenue generating activities?
Keep it simple, guys. Don't think about crazy stuff and crazy innovation and crazy. Remain simple. Make it easy for the user. Try to come back to the origin of the football, of the sports, of the nature itself. The sport is something that is accessible for everyone. And premium sports, now we are talking about the business and the big clubs. It's not so much accessible. That's why it's premium. But again, it remains in this nature of accessibility, of something that is shared by everyone. So when you go to the digital, you really need to keep things simple, because if not, you won't succeed.
At the end of the day, that's a virtue, no? In such a complex ecosystem with all these technologies, all these fan behaviors, the ability to identify the simple things. You've worked also with, across different regions, and we're talking about mobile technology in general, but I want to understand, based on your experience, do you see a lot of differences between different regions of the world in terms of adoption, or, how each region may be in terms of the curve of adopting this technology?
Yes, there are many differences. Even in Europe, there are still some differences. I think, in terms of payment technology, it's quite, as I was talking before, in Europe, for example, we have a very developed payment landscape, like with wallets and the Bizum and all these technologies that are making life so easy sometimes. So in terms of payments, we have differences. In terms of devices, we have differences as well in the different parts of the world, in terms of connectivity as well, and in terms of consumption also. It's that when it takes part of your daily life, all the things you can pay, you can receive your salary in your mobile phone, you can pay the gas in the gas station with your mobile phone, you can pay everything. this kind of user is a really heavy user. He will understand and he will choose some services different. If you only have a device at home, that's also important. You will choose some services from and not others. If you have a big smart TV at home and you have kids, and then you will choose different OTT platform. But if you don't have this, everything will go to the mobile. So we see very many difference between the regions in terms of per devices, connectivity, payments, consumption habits. It's yes, I think there are some great difference.
I like your answer because it goes back to what we were mentioning before. It goes back to context and to convenience. And convenience around
Absolutely.
different regions of the world is going to be determined by the context. So at the end of the day, it goes back to calling first principles, if you will. No? Pati, we have a few minutes left, and I want to change the scope of the conversation. And I want the audience to get to know you a little bit more about as a leader, let's say. So because I would consider you a change maker.
I don't know if I'm a leader, but thank you, Jaime, for that.
I think you are. You started in Telecoming in 2011. You have grown the business to incredible levels. You're chief strategy officer there. You're disrupting the sports industry. That to me is a textbook definition of change maker, no? So I don't know if you can share what does it take to be a change maker?
Well, you need to be able to get frustrated a lot of times. Mm-hmm. To tolerate frustration. This is the most important thing. If you want, it's amazing when you see that you are able to change things. This is amazing. When you see the impact of your ideas and your work, when you see people following your ideas and maybe sometimes many of them are super crazy. And again, people say, okay, Pati, let's go, let's do this. I think this is amazing. But it's hard as well because sometimes you feel really alone. People has their own business. People working and thinking there about ideas and it's how to change and how to improve. And sometimes people are just like, and then you need to convince them. And I think in that sense, my background helps me a lot because I am able to communicate the passion I have and communicate the dream we have as an organization. And I think you really need to understand a little bit how people's minds work. This big word that everybody talks about, emotional intelligence. I hope with artificial intelligence, the emotional one is not going to remain behind because it's really, really important. It's really important. Emotional intelligence is much more important than artificial intelligence today. I think you really need to understand how the other people are doing what they're doing and why they act in that sense, and how you can get them involved with your idea and with your project. And so I think it's very grateful, but it's hard as well. And I don't know if you ask me for advice, but I will advise people to have a lot of toleration for the frustration. That's to tolerate frustration is very important, and to keep creative. You really need to think that things can be done different every time, every day. So just making questions and reading and watching things and going out of the office to events, to amazing events you organize in Africa. And there are other events in there, like the Mobile World Congress. So go there and see what people is doing, how they are telling stories, how they are creating innovative technologies. All these things, is very important.
I love what you said. In general, your answer was fantastic. But I think there was a quote there that you should tweet, which is basically emotional intelligence is more important than artificial intelligence. And I couldn't agree more with that one.
It is.
I'm going to keep that in mind for the takeaways of the episode. And I also liked your answer because I was going to ask you what advice you have for leaders, and also maybe focusing us specifically on the fact that finally we are seeing an evolution of and more presence of female leaders at the top of organizations. And you're a clear example of that.
I think it's very interesting that women are gaining visibility and gaining different roles, and because I think everybody understands that diversity means wealth.
It is.
That's a fact. I mean, it's not about women, men, or whatever, or age, or senior or junior. It's about how diverse is your team, and how much they can create together. But I mean, for me, it's something that is so evident. It's not about being women or men. It's about having talent and hard workers and energy and this.
That's thank you for that answer, because that's I think the best measure of equality is to actually stop talking about our differences and really start talking about how, as people, we can help each other grow, no? And to your point, I was listening to an interview the other day on the Tim Ferriss podcast, and they made a lot of reference to this book called The Wisdom of the Crowds, and they talked about the power of diversity as a way to actually help society in general grow. So, couldn't agree more on that one. So, Pati, just a few questions on my end, and it's more about the future. So, where do you think is mobile technology headed? What do you think football clubs should expect from the technology in the medium to long term?
Well, it's a very wide question, because the technology is going to impact the clubs in many senses, in many fields. It's going to impact in the facilities. There's going to have a real impact in facilities, in the digitization of the stadiums. Mm-hmm. It's going to impact also in the performance of the athletes. This is also very, very, very important. They are going to be able to monitorize the performance and the evolution of the players. So they also will have this technology will help them on this. They are also going to have an impact in the fan engagement. That is the segment I understand more. No, but so they will have to also be aware about how technology is going to impact there. So they really need to be open-minded to say, hey guys, we really need to embrace this technology, but it's going to have an impact in all the organization. And in the part of, I think the best thing I think we are going to see in the coming years is this merge between the physical and the digital that is going to help the clubs getting closer to the fans and people at home engaged with and participating in the Bernabeu and appearing in these big screens, like if they were there but they are not, they are in Africa maybe. All this merge between the physical and the digital, it's going to be amazing for the fans and for the clubs. But again, it's a wide question because the clubs, they are going to be impacted in many senses.
Yeah.
I think facilities is going to be very, very hard. There's also a conversation around that because of the recognition of faces entering the stadiums and all this stuff. So there's something, but also in terms of security, in terms of sales inside. They're going to be impacted in many senses. But in my field, in my segment, that is fan engagement, I think the merge between physical and digital is going to be very interesting.
The possibilities are endless, no? And I could understand if someone listens to this to feel sort of overwhelmed with the amount of possibilities that it will bring. So let's bring it back to today. Do you think clubs can do, what are the foundations that they can start implementing today, if any, to be prepared for when that future actually arrives?
I don't know all the clubs, right? So maybe I can say something that is wrong and someone can hear me and say, she doesn't know about us. That's true. But they really need to prepare the internal organization, to embrace technology. And it's not about creating a team for the digital. It's also to understand, to having a great developers and just maybe even if they are going to buy this technology from others and having providers, it doesn't care. They need to have a team inside to manage all this technology they are going to to integrate in their activity. They need to prepare their internal organization in terms of developers, digital for sure, but also managing new talents, because the organization are going to change, the clubs are going to change, they're going to become really companies that it's not only about players, and it's not only about scouting, and it's not only about, it's more about all the business created around this, and it's a little bit different. So I think I will tell them, just prepare your organization for what's coming, because it's very important. And sometimes you find find a club that it's a great club, but the team who is managing the digital, for example, comes from another area, and they doesn't really know about. So they mix concept. They don't understand about digital advertisement and the digital channels, and they don't know. It's like because they are not prepared for this, and the digital is going super fast, and technology is going super fast. So just do not stand still, right?
It all comes back to people, despite all the about
sure.
different technologies. But at the end of the day, it's people. Anyway, Pati, so thank you very much for this amazing conversation. I personally had a lot of fun. I want to give the floor over to you. I don't know if there's any last words or messages you want to share with our audience.
Thank you, Jaime, for this invitation. Thank you, the World Football Summit, as well, for giving me a little space and voice to share my thoughts and what Telecoming is doing in this amazing industry that is sport tech. I just want to share with the audience that I suppose it doesn't comes only from football, but wider from sports. That just an optimistic message that we are living an amazing moment, a great moment, and we can work together to make greater things. And I think we don't have to fear what is coming, and we just need to rely on the correct people, again, and just be brave, guys.
That's a great way to end this conversation. Where can people learn more, either about you or about the work that Telecoming is doing? Any resource you want to point out?
Oh, we have the best blog. We have the best corporate blog, and it has been awarded last year, in fact. So I'm really proud of this as well. At telecoming.com, and we have a blog site, and then we have all the information. We make great analysis about the sport tech and about the industry, and we have also amazing collaborations. So I invite everyone to follow us on social media as well, at Telecoming, in Instagram and LinkedIn and Twitter. I am still using Twitter, and I love it. I need to say. And in the get subscribed to the blog, yeah, for sure.
I was just going to say that definitely the audience should check your blog because it is really good, and I'm not just saying that. And also, I think today you're going to have a lot of material, let's say, for you to tweet, because it was an amazing conversation. So thank you. Hopefully, we'll have you back for another round in the future, and we'll be looking forward to that.
I will be very happy to come back.
Okay. Pati, have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
And there you have her, Patricia Peiró Hergueta from Telecoming, bringing her energy as well as a masterclass on the opportunities that mobile technology can enable for football clubs to the show. There were many key takeaways for me from this conversation. First, technology is becoming more accessible, but the key is to understand how it's going to help your football organization be more profitable. Second, if you think about it, fans show a similar pattern of behavior despite the generational gaps between them. They are emotional, meaning they have passion for the clubs they support. They are used to experiencing games on multiple devices, for example, TV and radio. And the consumption of content goes way beyond the 90 minutes. The difference is technology, which has enabled the rise of short-form content and the mobile experience. But remember, any innovation-related project will depend on convenience and context. What does the user believe is convenient, and what is the context of each user? In a world where fan-related data seems to be gold, ask yourself, do you really know how to process it? How to actually use it for the fans' benefit? Or are you just trying to collect it and see what comes out of it? The reality is that the quality of the data is determined by the quality of the questions. And remember, Patricia's brilliant quote: the more you ask of the user or the fan, the less you will get. Any innovation-related initiative is essentially worthless if the fan does not see or understand its value. Keep things simple. because that will give you more chances that the user shares it with others. If you want to work with or in football clubs, you really need to understand the power and the value these clubs give to their brand. After all, as Patricia mentioned, it is their main asset. Some of the leadership traits that Patricia believes to be essential include tolerating frustration, communication, emotional intelligence, which, for Patricia, is much more important than artificial intelligence, and I could not agree more. And finally, creativity. Another quote that I love from the conversation is that diversity means wealth. But what I loved about it is that talent needs to triumph over everything. It should not be about diversity for diversity's sake. But remember, more diversity will bring greater wisdom to the organization. Finally, prepare the internal organization to embrace tech. Pati is optimistic about the future and the opportunities that technology will bring, but the team needs to be ready for them. Is there anything else that stood out for you? If so, please reach out across social media and let us know. And remember, you can subscribe and rate the podcast on the platform of your choice, and you can also share with other colleagues in the industry. Remember to follow along as we invite more amazing guests that will help us celebrate female leadership in football. Nothing else from my side. Thank you for tuning into this episode of the World Football Summit podcast. Have a great rest of your day, and we hope to see you next time.